Hey, what's up everybody? BDF44 coming at you with another video. So I was trying to let some of the news trickle in before hopping on here and just discussing one thing at a time. That's a little much. So I did a little bit of that, but it's still a lot of stuff coming in right now. So I'm pretty sure I'll make more than one of these videos in the very near future. So the first name that has been signed outside of Lonzo Ball, for which we've already discussed, is Nerlens Noel, who's headed back to New York on a 3-year, $32 million deal. We got Jimmy Butler, who's going to be signing his max extension for $184 million. Not sure how many years on there. Don't know. Jarrett Allen is going to be returning back to the Cleveland Cavaliers. They decided to keep him. They're going to pair him up with Mobley. They gave him 5 years, $100 million. So they're all in on that Twin Towers effect. They're all in on the shot blocking effect. They're all in on those players. Well, to be honest with you, I'm not surprised. I'm trying to remember what I said about Jarrett Allen and the Cleveland Cavaliers. I think that what he does is at a premium, given the fact that a lot of teams need shot blocking and stuff like that. When you consider the contract that he's given, it's $100 million, yes, but it's 5 years. 5 years and $100 million for Jarrett Allen. You could do worse. I mean, he's not the most consistent player from a scoring perspective. So your numbers that he puts up at times will make you think that that may not be the greatest investment. But for what it is that Cleveland's trying to do, when you consider the fact that he doesn't need to score the ball on this team, all he really needs to do is just create that Twin Tower effect and dunk the ball when it's necessary and just continue to dominate defensively. I think the future in Cleveland is about as bright as it's been. I would have loved to see them not lock him up for 5. Given that you already have Mobley, the Mobley dynamic in place. If it doesn't work, you may be in a position where it may be a little difficult to move. But I do think that if you have to move Jarrett Allen, if you're forced to, the contract's fair. I mean, it really is. The only thing you're concerned about is if he would have faced injury or if he would have regression. Then the contract looks kind of funny, but nah, it's not a bad contract. It really ain't. When you consider what it is, what is that, like a little more than 18 a year, something like that? Something like that. Maybe more. So, yeah, I mean, it's good. It's a good contract. It ain't bad. And you like what the Cleveland Cavaliers did there. Alec Burks is headed back to New York. He's returning on a $30 million deal for 3 years, $10 million a year for Alec Burks. A bit much for me. I'm not going to front. I don't love that contract. He's a nice complimentary player, but they didn't need him that bad. You could very easily bring in a young player who's going to be on a rookie contract, who's probably going to put up the same production. So, while I like Alec Burks, I do. I just don't see him as a piece that's going to make New York's life any better or worse. He's just a guy who's going to come in and score the ball, stretch the floor a little bit, and that's that. But it's not a bad deal. I just feel like $10 million a year for Burks, Alec Burks. You're going to see some guys take a whole lot less to come to the Lakers that you know damn well are better players than Alec Burks. You're going to see guys go into really good situations having made less money. He's signing up 3 years in New York because New York's not that great of a franchise. So that's why that contract is so high. Because he does probably have other suitors that he wouldn't be able to make as much money with, but probably would have a much better chance of winning. So that's kind of how I look at that. Let's see. So moving on, let's see. We got so I want to update the Lonzo Ball trade because we have some understanding of what happened there. Of course, the ball goes to Chicago, and it was a sign and trade. So New Orleans does get a chance to bring back some players. Thomas Satoransky, Garrett Temple, and a second-round pick. So in this situation, essentially, you're just trying to make the numbers work. Satoransky's a player who can be helpful. You know what I mean? For their team, he's a combo guy, Swiss Army knife from the shooting guard perspective. Position really can help. Just kind of provide some depth and some intensity at that point guard position that maybe they're losing with the absence of Ball and Bledsoe. So I like Satoransky. He's a nice role player who's got some good production coming the Pelicans' way. I think he's going to help them some if they decide to keep him. Garrett Temple, same thing. You know, Garrett Temple's a guy who's been around for some years now, and he's worked his way into being a really reliable three-point threat and role playing small forward. You know, he's not someone that you're looking to have change life for you, but a solid bench has Garrett Temple on it. So that's kind of how I look at him. Um, Jermichael Green is headed back to Denver. I didn't write down the framework on that. I don't know. I don't think it was out yet when I wrote this down. But Jermichael is returning to Denver. Mike Conley is going to be heading back to Utah. He's re-signing with them for 72.5 million is what Woj said for 3 years. Someone else said that he was getting 68. I'm gonna go with Woj on that. So just assume it's 72.5. Tim Hardaway is returning back to Dallas on a $72 million 4-year deal. It's a better deal than the one he was on. It's more comparable to what it is his production is. I look at him as a guy who can give you 30 on a really good night, mostly from behind the arc. Very, very high free throw percentage shooter, 3-point percentage shooter. I don't really look at him as the kind of guy that's putting the ball on the floor, breaking anybody down, nothing like that. I don't look at him as facilitator in any stretch of the imagination. But he's a guy who's going to hit shots, a 3-point shooter. He's a guy that's going to fit in a KCP role for whatever team. So he's staying with Dallas. I like the contract a bit better than the one he was on because I know he was making like $100 million on like a 4-year deal or something like that last time. A little expensive. This is a bit more comparable. Still a little high. Still a little high for the type of limitations that he has as a basketball player, in my opinion. But he's definitely a consistent scorer and somebody you can trust shooting the ball. So, yeah, it's okay. It's okay. It's okay. It's an okay deal. Now, this is the one that blew me away. I'm not going to lie. Maybe I'm overrating this guy, but I had him on my fantasy team, as I always tell you guys. And he played for the Rockets as a center. He's been around the league. Kelly Olynyk, $37 million for 3 years. Detroit got a steal. Y'all. A complete steal. That is a great contract for the type of production that he put up as a starter for the Rockets last year. He could have demanded more. He could have. He definitely could have. It's a guy who played for the Celtics and did good in his role. It's a guy who played in Miami and did good in his role. And it's a guy who went to the Rockets and played like a damn all-star in his role. And he's going to Detroit for the cheap. I think he might have underplayed his value a little bit, to be honest with you. When I look at some of the numbers some of these other guys are getting, like Tim Hardaway, Kelly Olynyk was more productive than Tim Hardaway last year. He was. But the fit is amazing. The fit is amazing in Detroit. Amazing. Isaiah Stewart is going to take a step back in theory, but Kelly Olynyk can play the 4 as well, so that's not that big of a deal. Kelly Olynyk can come off the bench too, so it's not a lot of things that you can't do with Kelly, which is why I think he should be making more money and having, probably a role that's going to be similar to the one he's in. The role he's in is good. It's the money that you just say, wow, Detroit, you got a blessing out of that situation. So that's what I think of Kelly Olynyk. I wonder what it means for the center that they picked up, Garza, because that's kind of the role that they thought he was going to be in. So it gives him a chance to kind of develop more naturally than being thrown into the stretch 5 position. But this is one of those situations where I say, man, I hope people pay attention to what Detroit's doing because they're doing some good things. We'll have to see if they're able to actually land DeMar DeRozan. That situation's all over the place. I'm sure that that's kind of a long shot for them. I hear he may be going to Chicago. I don't know what's going to happen there with DeRozan, but that would be a great fit for him to go to Detroit if they still have the money for him. I don't know what their books looks like, but that is an affordable deal for Kelly Olynyk. You feel good about that deal. You know, that's only $7 million more than Alec Burks. Like his representation didn't do him any favors. Can I just be honest with y'all? Kelly Olynyk should be making more money than that. Period. So anyway, we're moving on from there. TJ is headed back to the Pacers. So that's a point guard. TJ, I don't know why his name's not coming to McConnell. There we go. TJ McConnell is headed back to the Pacers. That information had just came in right when I stepped away from writing stuff down. So they still didn't have the framework on that deal. That's all I got so far, you guys. We're getting a lot coming in. I'm sure since I've turned on this video in the last 10 minutes, I'm sure something probably happened. But that's what we have. And also, I don't know why I didn't write this down. It's obvious. Kyle Lowry is headed to the Miami Heat. That is done. Kyle Lowry to the Heat is done. And the sign and trade, I think they stuck with the deal that they had in place for him to go for Precious Achiuwa and Goran Dragic, but that had not been finalized last I checked. We didn't know the framework of the deal. It just said that he was going there for certain. I think it was a 3-year deal, if I'm not mistaken. Don't know the numbers on that. So I'll come back, probably make a different video on that. But Kyle Lowry is off the board. He's headed to Miami in a sign and trade. So that's what I got, you guys. Go check it out, see what else is over there, and I'll come right back to you if it's something substantial. Thank you all for watching. My name is BDO44. I'm out.